On location at Denver Comic Con 2016, I'm Super Dave Rains for Super Dave Rains and the Big Show. We are here with award-winning author Sue Duff, the author of Fade to Black, Book 1 of the Wee Chronicles. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I see you dreamed of dragons and spaceships before you could even read. What inspired those dreams, and how did you settle on the idea of combining fantasy and science fiction?
I just always had a great imagination. I mean, I would watch TV shows and think of other ways that they could have been writing them.
Right.
And so that kind of a thing's just really what inspired me. Yeah.
Wow, that's
even
awesome.
early on.
That's awesome. Any inspiration from Aaron Spelling?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably more Joss Whedon than anything.
Okay, I love Joss
Yeah.
Whedon. So,
Yeah.
Other than yourself, who is your favorite author within the fantasy and science fiction genre?
Oh, that's such a long list. I don't know if there's a true favorite. Growing up, I was a huge Anne McCaffrey with Dragon Riders of Pern. I just loved that series, and I couldn't get enough of it. But by the time I hit college, I was getting more and more into science fiction.
Right.
Frank Herbert's Dune, all of that.
Oh, God,
yeah.
that was great.
I mean, that just totally, it was probably the first set of novels that truly took me to another universe.
Right.
And I just loved them.
Yeah, I do too. Dune is a classic. Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica.
Oh, okay.
Hi there. I've actually read your book, the first one, and it's pretty great. I enjoyed it. So, what can you tell us about this book?
Well, mainly the thing about the Weir Chronicles is my protagonist is a 19-year-old young man who was the last of his kind from a magical race of beings called the Weir. And he was supposed to inherit all of their combined powers, being the last one, and he didn't. And so it made for a very rough childhood and everything else, but he decided to rebel after he was tortured to try to bring his powers to the surface, and it still didn't happen. And so he ended up turning to illusions to do what he could to make it look like magic.
Right.
And that's how he started to be an illusionist, and rebelled, left the Weir race, and kind of started to just mingle himself in among humans. And that's where the book actually starts up. So.
Right.
So, what is it like publishing your book? Because I'm interested in the process of that.
It's a daunting task.
I imagine.
Oh, it is amazing. It's great because you have creative control from start to finish over everything, but it's awful because you have everything on your shoulders. And so the marketing, the whole business aspect, that's not my background whatsoever.
Right.
And so it was really tough for me to learn that early on. So I concentrated so much on writing the books, the whole business part of that then came to play.
Yeah.
And it still took me a couple more years to get my books out there because I felt like I needed to do it justice from the guts, from the start.
Right, exactly. Well, how did you, let me ask you this, how did you find Sammy?
Oh, how did I find Sammy? Well, a big piece about me was I spent most of my childhood in libraries.
Right.
I just loved libraries. And being a self-published author, that wasn't a guarantee at all.
Right.
And so I actually asked around, and I came up with JKS Communications. They're out of Nashville.
Right.
And they primarily work with traditionally published authors to give them extra marketing.
Right.
But they aren't very often somebody who would consider a self-published author. And so when I talked to Julia, she said, I really need to read your books before I will commit to a contract with you. And so I sent her my novel, I sent her the ebook, and 8 days later she said I would be thrilled and proud to represent your books. So that was kind of the start. And at the time, Sammy worked with them.
Right.
But I told her one of my dreams was to be part of Denver Comic Con. And that was part of my contract with JKS. And I only contracted with them for about 3 months when the first book came out. But then Sammy broke away and helped me get into the Denver Comic Con, but then broke away and started her own, publicity business. And we got along so well, and I just loved her, and so I started just working with her primarily.
Right, that's awesome, and we are so happy that you're here at Denver Comic Con.
Thank you.
This is your second year at DCC.
Mm-hmm.
How does it make you feel to see so many young ladies getting into the fantasy and science fiction writing?
I think it's fabulous. I really do, and it's exciting because I'm still fairly a newbie at it myself. I've only been writing for about 7 or 8 years.
Right.
And so I still feel like I understand how they feel, starting out, getting underway. And it's great because I've learned, so much about everything about the business, especially self-publishing.
Right.
That I think they know to come to me for everything, because it's like, who do you use for this? How did you decide on that?
Right.
And so it's great because I'm excited for anybody and everybody to be able to pursue their dream like I was able to. Right.
Well, that's excellent. Tell us about the skiing accident and how that event inspired you to write.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a very active person by nature. I'm
Right.
always involved in things, going, coming, everything.
Right.
And when I had the skiing accident that year, I waited for the surgery. It was ACL surgery. And I waited till the end of my school year because I'm a speech therapist
Oh,
with Denver
awesome.
Public Schools.
Right.
And so I was going to be off, so I knew I could just recover and everything quietly over the summer. And it was driving me crazy, probably about 3 days into me not being able to get anywhere without crutches and everything.
Right.
So I finally was going out of my mind. So I just kind of turned on the word processor and started playing around with ideas of stories and everything, not ever imagining that it would go anywhere. But the longer I wrote and the more I wrote, I was so excited about the story. It just
Right.
kind of exploded from
It just
there.
kind of took you away.
It really did.
Right,
Yeah.
that's excellent. You have a Great Dane, and you love to cook. Would you care to share what it's like to own a Scooby dog, and what's your favorite meal to prepare?
Oh, wow. A Scooby dog. Well, you have to understand that I came from a miniature dachshund
Right.
of 16 years to a Great Dane, and I wasn't used to something being able to get onto my counters.
Right.
And so I lost a lot of food those first few days
Yeah.
because I was used to just leaving like my bread out or a plate of brownies or something like
Right.
that, and they were not there the next day. And I finally realized that this huge, gargantuan dog was
Right.
just getting into everything.
Right.
And no lie, she can even get into treats if I put them in a big container up on top of my refrigerator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if she wants something, she finds a way to get
Get
to
it,
it.
right.
But she's wonderful, and she is the sweetest thing. And I've heard more and more about people who find out that, I have a Great Dane, that they are so affectionate, and
Yeah.
they have no idea how big they are.
Right.
And so they think they're lap dogs. So I always have this huge thing trying to crawl into my lap, and
Right.
especially when I'm writing at my desk.
Right.
But no, she's marvelous and a great companion.
Right.
And then as far as what I love to cook, I love all kinds of things.
Right.
I'm an eclectic eater as well as an eclectic cook. But one of my favorite things to cook is that's really hard. I love to cook jambalaya.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds very
That's
good.
probably one of my
and it's
favorites.
lunchtime too. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, jambalaya. But did you not grow up in Rhode Island,
No.
or was it? Where'd you grow up
I
at?
actually grew up in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay,
But my
awesome.
mother is from Louisiana.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's where you get it from.
She taught
Okay.
me all how the Southern cooks cook. So,
Right.
yeah.
We may have to go to Papados after this. But where can our fans purchase your books?
I'm all over wherever books are sold.
Okay.
I'm on Amazon. I'm on Kobo, I'm on Smashwords, I mean ebooks, regular print books. I'm in the tattered cover here in Colorado. They're pretty much anywhere. So yeah, and just last night, I'm very excited. I contracted with a producer to produce the books on audio.
Oh, that's
I'm
excellent. That's a good way to go through a book, audio. Yep. Excellent. So where can our fans find you online?
My website is www.sueduff.com.
Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, saving the world one page at a time, award-winning author Sue Duff, the author of the Weir Chronicles, Fade to Black. Sue, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for appearing on Super Dave Raines in the Big Show at DCC 2016. For Jessica Morris, aka Miss Marvel, I'm Super Dave Raines. Until next time, own the love.